Welcome, Woven Ones. This is Generation Woven, where the voices of three generations blend into one tapestry of truth, laughter, love, and life. So sometimes we love people deeply, but the way we hear and feel love through the conversations we have is completely different. So today, we are exploring how to bridge that gap so connection does not get lost in translation.
An invisible thread that ties us all through the rises, through the falls. We are stronger when we stand as one, together shining like the sun. Generations woven hand in hand.
If the three of us thought that we could share stories of hope between three generations without being tested, we were surely mistaken. So, a few weeks back, we had a business meeting and something was a little off in the meeting. You could just somehow feel the frustration between the three of us as we were challenged. We were challenged with our different communication styles. And while we are learning to hear and respect each other, this is new for us too. So today we're going to talk about that generational communication. So I would love to hear your feelings and how you perceived the communication that we had during that meeting. Judy, what did you think?
I was feeling I wasn't heard because I'm older and technology does not come easy for me. And I know you two are in the corporate world and have most of your life is with computers. And so a lot of times I don't feel like I'm part of your conversations because you're using terms or, Lord, I don't know. It's just like I'm not here. I don't get it. And yet I'm sure I didn't know how to ask in the right way. And I'm sure you two were getting a little challenged, to say the least, because I wasn't grasping the things that you were trying to say that we were going to be doing with the podcast. So I was getting frustrated. And I'm sure you guys were getting frustrated. And it was very interesting to see how it played out.
Sasha, what was your take on it?
Yeah, so in the moment, I was trying to be as patient as possible. I was in the same room, right, with Judy, and we're sitting there and we're working and having this meeting. And I felt like she was just very aggressively asking how things were going to be done when it was the first time she had asked this question. Like, I can give you an answer. Like, I didn't know where her frustration was coming from. Because to me, I was like, what is going on? Like, she's just so frustrated sounding, but we haven't said anything that we haven't told her no. We didn't ignore her, in our perception, right? In my perception, I thought she was in tune with everything we were doing and aligned. And then it was just it was confusing to me, but I was trying to be patient, but I was also feeling frustrated in having to communicate with her in that way. And how I was feeling also was we are putting a lot of effort into this, right? All three of us. And then I felt like because I wasn't giving, I felt like she was making me feel like I didn't do something I should have done. And I'm just like, what more do I need to do right now? And so that's kind of where that feeling was. And so later on, we tell each other, I love you. We leave. I go home and she texts me and she goes, is everything okay? And I respond back and I go, I was just wondering the same. Are you okay? And then she texts and I send another message and I go, I felt like you were frustrated. Kind of what I just said. What I just said is pretty much what I texted her over something that you've bringing up for the first time. Like, you haven't given us a chance to answer your question and you're acting like we've been ignoring you. And then she comes back and she says, well, it's just so hard to communicate. You guys are using email and text, and I'm getting lost on what I'm supposed to be doing and all of this. And so I go out and I'm talking to my boyfriend, and I was like, okay, like here's what's going on. And I was like, okay, she's messaging, and I'm like waiting, and I go to message back, and he goes, are you going to prove her right? And I go, huh?
Wow.
And he goes, she's talking about not being able, like, just pick up the phone. And I go, oh my gosh, you're right. Like, she is used to just calling, having a conversation, talk to her, because that is her generation. I am used to this fast fingered talking to my phone sometimes to, type it out. And she's literally saying that, and I'm about to message her back. So anyway, I go in the other room so I can call her. But when I call her, I'm laughing at this realization.
I'm going, what?
It's like, why is she laughing? But then we talk about it, and it's like, I get it. Like, I'm sorry. You're going to perceive things differently in a text, in the emails. You have different needs. I have different needs, right? But we have to talk about it.
Yes.
And so it was great to have that conversation within an hour of everything, right? We did give a pause, right? We didn't immediately during the meeting be like, Judy, what the heck is going on, right? We were able to kind of take a break and then have this conversation. But sometimes it's that realization. Sometimes you need people to help you. I think that's what's good about, relationships, girlfriends, boyfriends, friends, all of that is to kind of have these talks and look at things from different perspectives and then come back to it. But yeah, it ended up great. We all are better aligned and we know how to communicate. We had conversations now of, if you need this, like, here's how we can kind of bridge this gap between our generations in this. And now we have to bridge that gap with our listeners too.
Absolutely.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
well, they have me doing some things that I can do because, a lot has changed, but I still do it the same way for 20 years. And that's with fundraising or getting sponsors and things like that. And so I just want to be left to do it
Your way.
my way.
Yes.
But here's these two trying to tell me exactly how to do my job. Well, it entails sending stuff on the emails and all that. And I'm going, no. And then I said to Narina, just get the heck out of my kitchen. This is my little thing I know something about.
And she's good at that. We have, you that is your gift, Judy. We don't have that. We have other gifts, but not that.
Yeah.
And I think through this whole process, we've learned that we all come with different gifts. We all come with different experiences. And our way is not the better way because it's quick and it's fast and it's an email. There are people that absolutely yearn for a communication and a talk on the phone and for you to go see them. We wouldn't think to do that. That would be the last thing I would want to do. I would want to send an email and do it quickly.
Well, I'm going to say it. Both of them are agreeing during this meeting. It's far better just to email. You'll get better results.
I think that too is perspective, because
Yes.
that is not what we said, actually.
Oh, what was it?
Yeah. No, we said, like, Judy, this is a guide for you. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, but what did you say, though?
Well, she was saying that that's our generation, like the younger people. Like, if you have to reach out to somebody who's Gen Z in their early 20s.
And I said, what's Gen Z?
Yeah. But no, and that's what I think, and that's where I think with that communication, it's really like we have to, today I was on my phone in the car waiting to come up here, and I was like kind of just going through notes, and you kept showing me videos, and I was like, hey, Judy, I'm going through some notes. Give me just a minute. And then you're like, look at this video. And I sit here, I go, Judy, maybe you didn't hear me. I'm going to look at my phone and prepare for this podcast. Just give me a few minutes. You're like, oh, okay, honey, I'm sorry. So we, as people, we sometimes we're just busy. right? We're busy in our own thoughts, and I get the same way. I'm trying to help everyone help themselves all the time, right? And I shouldn't. I need to step back
Miss
sometimes.
Fixer?
Yes, I'm a fixer.
Okay.
Okay. But I think that's me, is like, I felt like I need to give Judy all the steps to here's what you can do. But I think that also gave me perspective of, okay, who wants to do this? So then, like, after that, I was like, here's the things we have to do. Who's got it?
That's good.
And then letting you guys kind of jump
we
in
did.
instead of,
we
and
did.
you did. And
We did.
I think that's where, as we have these conversations, as we grow, and I think that's the same with everyone, right? Sometimes we're quick to give up on something
Yes.
and stop and just avoid that conversation and move on, but then it sits back there and it festers.
Yes, it
And you
does.
think about it and you have that resentment start to build and
And
build
that's
and build.
a lot of times when the passive aggressive steps in, it's like we're not addressing it, but we're definitely not
Mm-hmm.
warm and fuzzy, Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. There's a guy that I really like, Gary Chapman. He wrote The Five Love Languages. And it helps to know who you are and, your style. So I know that most women, and I'm saying this deliberately, most women have, and the five love languages are words of affirmation, touch, quality time, gifts, and acts of service. And most women have words of affirmation as at least one, their first one or their second one, because we are created to be affirmed by someone who is sharing our lives with us. And if that's in conflict because they have a different style of communication or they just don't understand you, I always say that my parents are part of the silent generation. So now you have a silent generation person that has a conflict with a younger, like a Gen Z. How do you work that out? And I think that takes humility and love. Like Judy, none of us would like to hurt you and make you feel less than. Definitely. That breaks my heart to even think about that.
I
But we,
I know that, but I don't think I bring, and I've said that before, is you guys do so much. You just know how to do it. And I'm watching and I'm feeling like I bring so little to the table.
So, like you said, that words of affirmation, even in this, of us, each other, reminding each other, like, Judy, here's what you bring,
yes.
right? And
Yeah.
then we've talked about, like, that's something that you or Narina or me, like, when we have these types of situations where we're feeling a certain way, I believe it was Judy who told me, like, why are you feeling that way? What in your life is making you feel that way? So it's reflecting back on ourselves, growing from these opportunities, and having the community around us to help us realize that instead of holding it in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something else that before we get to the end is so much of our communication is nonverbal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had children that had master's degrees in eye rolling. I'd say, would you mind taking out the that number? And it's like, they didn't have to say a word. I knew exactly
Mm-hmm.
the vibe I was getting. You know what I'm saying? But just in general, people, a lot of their conversation, they don't have to say out loud. And that's another thing to think about. Because I think a lot of men do not, how do I say this? They're not outward emotionally a lot like women.
No, they're not.
I mean, if we're uptight or, I'm having a rough day, Marina.
Yeah.
Would you come over and have a coffee with me?
Or we shut the cabinet really hard.
Yeah. But a man, he just goes to work.
Yeah.
I'm not
don't-
saying everyone because
No.
Yeah.
there's
Not.
not everyone's not the
generalizing,
same.
but
But I'm just saying, as a rule of thumb, we do communicate different,
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
and so much of what we're saying, we're not saying with our mouths.
Oh,
I always said, your actions were so loud I couldn't hear what you were saying.
ooh, Judy.
Oh, I like that.
See, that's when I want to say to you that put a price tag on 75 years of wisdom. But the wisdom that you bring, Judy, there's no price tag on that. There isn't.
Keep it up. I love it.
But something else that I realized as we were going through this, many times when we communicate, we do one or two things. We either, in a conversation when there's conflict, we either react from something, and that is a soul wound most of the time. So it's things like pain, neglect, and rejection, and something that was done to
Abandonment.
us, or abandonment that we still need to work on and we still need to fix. But when we respond from love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, we talked about just the beauty of a pause. But before you answer something, or when you feel attacked, just for a moment, think about, am I now reacting because of my past? I'm reacting from something, or am I responding to something? And just that thought for a moment will make you just pause for a second and go, okay, hold on. This person might not even see it that way. So let me respond in love. And all of us have grandmas and grandpas. We might not be close to them, but we want to love them because they bring something into our lives. And to realize that when they ask a question about how do I delete this? How do I swipe left? It's because they didn't have that. We have that today. And we love them, not because their technology is not their thing, but it's because of who they are and the love that they brought into our lives. So just a little bit of a different perspective.
Yeah. And we have to remember that,
Yes.
right? Like even, Judy, when your storage gets full, we have to talk about how to fix it. And
Right.
sometimes we can be impatient. And I think your storage is full right now. I think I need to help you with that. But I think we're impatient.
Well, at least I didn't go buy a new iPhone because my storage was full. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, she got you there.
I'm
she
sorry.
did.
That was uncalled for.
no.
She did. She got me. Oh, that's dreaded storage. But it puts into perspective, though, that we need to remember that people do need help in different ways.
Yeah.
Right. And we need to be there for each other because we have each other in life. Right.
Yes.
You just have to be a little selfless in that.
And when we communicate, do we want to come from pain or do we want to come from love?
From love.
And I want to come from love.
And when I do come from pain, I remember, right? Like
Yes.
I know when that happens. I know when I come from pain. Like, we struggle with that with our kids sometimes, right? Our kids sometimes will feel like they interpret what we're doing and saying in a certain way. And I have to remember that they have a perception or whatever they're perceiving it. And I have to try to overcome that because we are different people and they're growing and they're maturing and they're adults maybe. And we have to kind of build a new relationship with them where we can talk to each other with love and let them know that it comes
And
from love.
sometimes when people, significant others, friends, whatever, say or do something that hurts you, they may not even be aware of it. But I always say to myself, don't let anyone steal your joy. And when I do that, I step back and then respond with love. And that way, I'm not feeling angry at them for making me feel bad. It's like, no, they can't steal my joy. I'm not going to allow that. But I'll love you through it.
I like that.
Yeah, I love that. Love them through it.
So understand that we are all uniquely created. There's only one of you, only one. So cultivate curiosity to get to know someone else without your expectations, because expectations can be a beautiful discovery into the soul of another human being. So our action item for you guys today is to identify one person, just one person, that you love and trust that will give you their truth. So ask them this question. Ask them, what makes you feel seen, safe, and supported by me? And then return the favor. Remember, Bridges are built through small conversations that brings us closer, one honest moment at a time. Until next time, God bless.